Give it a second. Oh, okay. Hi. All right. So I will be popping this up on YouTube later. Hi. I'm going to go ahead and get started. Today, for today's Q&A, I wanted to talk about what magic is from my perspective, from my opinion, from my understanding of how I perceive and feel magic to be. Not the stage magic, but magic in terms of manifestation and spells and intention. Some might even call it prayer, miracles, etc. So please feel free to comment as I'm talking, or to comment your perspective on certain things. I love that. I always appreciate that. I love reading the comments, whether it's here on the live or whether it's in the comment section afterwards when I post it up on YouTube and stuff like that. So I wanted to talk about this is because, one, I've had people ask me, like, what exactly do I feel magic is? Like, what is my perspective on that? Some of this has come from family members and stuff, trying to understand more of what I do and trying to get more of an understanding of how my mind works when it comes to spirituality and things like that. So I think that some of the issues that people have or have been programmed that creates issues is because they see these movies and these shows. You know, for example, as much as I love Harry Potter and things like that, truly love Harry Potter, like, they see magic on these movies and shows and they think that spells and things like that work in this perspective and view of, like, bippity boppity boo, and then there's some sort of magical light show and all of this stuff is happening physically before your eyes that creates a spell. And more of how magic tends to work is something that goes unseen with the two physical eyes. Maybe you see it with the third eye. And hey, Melissa, I'm glad you joined in. Feel free to comment. We're talking about magic. So I'm gonna backtrack a little bit just so that certain people can catch up. I was saying how, as much as I love Harry Potter and other shows similar, movies or shows similar to it, even things like the show Charmed from back in the day, and I know they remade it, but I think the older version of the show Charmed was better and things like that. When people think of, magic or spells, they think of something, from the movies that has been a bit exaggerated, or exaggerated, I guess you could say, over romanticized version of magic. And they think like, wave a wand or do your hands like this, and there's supposed to be light beams shooting out, or like bippity boppity boo, all this crazy stuff happens before your physical eyes, these two eyes, when really magic tends to work more in the unseen realm. You might see it with your third eye if you are open in that way, but a lot of the magic that happens when we who do manifestation and intention and spell work, it goes unseen, and then you see the results at some point later on. So I think that people misunderstand magic because they're expecting to see something crazy happen, like lights or some sort of crazy transformation happening right before them that they can actually see happening, when a lot of the time it's happening in a different realm or in the 5D, and so you don't see it physically with your two eyes. And the best example I can give to this is, let's say you get a cut or a burn. I'm showing this because I burned myself on the air fryer. Let's say you get a cut. This is an example, or metaphor, or what's the word? Symbolic metaphor reference to how I feel magic works. Let's say you get a cut, right? And you may not see it physically shifting and healing immediately right before your physical eyes, but every day you wake up and then you look at it and you realize there's a little bit of a change, or sometimes you even feel it changing, but you don't see what's actually happening moment to moment. And then one day it's healed, right? But you didn't physically see it happening. You just knew something was changing. You knew something was evolving. That's kind of how magic works. It's like you're not going to see it happening before you, moment to moment to moment. But each day, or at some point, maybe if you don't feel it every day, at some point, you're going to feel that things have changed, or the results are going to show up and it's healed, or it looks different altogether. You know what I mean? So that's kind of an example. And comment below some examples of how you view magic as well. I would love to see it and hear your thoughts. So that's the best example I can think of. And nice glow. Thank you. And, you know, some people who have like a scientific brain will be like, okay, well, how do you explain magic scientifically? And my question would be, why are they different things? Why do you think that they're separate and different? Because when it comes to people arguing science, you know, in the conversation of magic, you know, there was a point in time when what you're reading in a book wasn't there at one point in time. Any idea or any scientific experiment or trial and error that took place, there was some person at some point who nobody else told that knowledge to, and they received a download, a channel message of, hey, do this or try that. So they did, and they may have seen results, and then maybe somebody else added on to it. And so science, in the sense of you receive information, you try, you see what works, you get results. I feel magic kind of works like that too. You receive a download of something to try or do, a message of channel information to try and do. You give it a try, and then you eventually see results. So, you know, we often forget that these books were at one point non-existent that you're reading science from. You know what I mean? There was a person who received an aha moment, an epiphany, that got that download, likely from source, that said, hey, do this or try that, or this might be an answer to create something. So hopefully that makes sense. Melissa said, that's why I liked Lord of the Rings better than Harry Potter, because the magic wasn't so literal. You know what? I appreciate that. I appreciate that. You know, I do love Harry. I love them both. But yeah, like the magic wasn't so over the top in Lord of the Rings, whereas Harry Potter was just fantasy. Though in Lord of the Rings, people just were magical, right? They just owned their power. They were just connected. So I like that. Jamaicans call magic science. They will say, them science you. Oh, I didn't know that. That's very interesting. Them science you. Am I saying it? I'm probably butchering it. But I like that. I'm going to look into that. Yeah, so see, like, why they're not different, you know, same, tomato, tomato. I think that the scholarly world gets too hooked on, what does the book say? What did I learn in school? But who taught them that? You know what I mean? Where did that information come through? And where did that information come before books, before it was written down? You know what I'm saying? So hopefully that makes sense. It all works with the elements. Exactly. Magic and science both work with the elements. Yes. Thank you. I love it when you guys participate. Yes, because sometimes you say things I forget to say, but I know. Science is the new religion now. But why was it ever different? Why was it always has been, you know what I mean? But I think to your point, I think what people are saying is what you're saying, and what people are realizing is that they're not so different. You know what I mean? You did great. Thank you. I think what people are beginning to see is that they're not so different. You know what I mean? Let's give another example of magic, you could even say, or power versus science. Big Bang Theory versus somebody speaking the world into existence. Different or same? Maybe it's a different way of saying the same thing. You know what I mean? So, cool glasses. Thank you. So yeah, that was my little rant. Do any of you have any questions that you would like to ask, or any more to share about your view on magic and how it works? Let's see if I can think of another example. I'll give another example. So like a vision board, right? You make a vision board, and you may not see something magical happening. There's no lights. There's no swirly winds around you. You know what I mean? There's no blazes of beams shooting out my hands like on X-Men or something. But there is energy coming out. So maybe, for example, like if you're using like a mutant from X-Men or something that's doing magic, and they have beams in the movie shooting out, you know, maybe something like that is happening unseen to our physical eyes because there's energy coming out and creating. But like, we're doing a vision board and you may not see the immediate physical results, but one day you look around and you're like, that was on my vision board, that was on my vision board, that was on my vision board. You know what I mean? A lot of the time the magic is working, but it's not like, it may not always be immediate results sometimes, but maybe not always. And it's not some exaggerated movie-like thing happening before your eyes, but it is happening, you know? So that's just another example I can think of. Science allows questions and to seek out the answers. Religion is more based on trust. Is it, though? Only speaking from my experience, most religion I found is based upon fear. And I feel like magic, as well as science, is based on trust, because it's like, hey, I don't know exactly how this is going to turn out, but I feel like mixing this with that is going to create this result. Let's see. I'm going to trust and see where it goes. And if it doesn't work out, okay, let me pick up the pieces and try something else again. You know, so, and I think that there's an argument to be said that religion is supposed to be based on faith and trust. But I feel like a lot of what I've seen, only speaking from my experience, is that a lot of people move in religion based upon fear. You know, wanting someone or an external source to make a decision for them or to show them the way, instead of knowing the power within self to have good discernment and make good choices, or to receive the downloads of channel information from source directly, creator, God, whatever name you choose to call. So that's just my opinion, but I definitely appreciate that. You know what I mean? But yeah, science allows questions, but you know what? So does, this is why science and magic and spirituality, same in my view, because how I got here and doing what I do was questioning everything, questioning life. Why do we believe this? Why do human beings do that? You know what I mean? Where did this come from? Why do we always do this every year? What's the history of it? You know, questions. So thank you. I really appreciate that. Sorry, thirsty. But I think that's all I've got for you guys. Today was really fun. Thank you so much. And thank you for sharing that information, all of you. I'm going to save this. It's going to be temporary up on my Instagram, and then I'm going to later put it on YouTube. You guys know how I do. So once it's up, like this video. If you see it on YouTube, subscribe to my channel. Continue in the comment section. I love the conversations, and I will talk to you guys another time. Bye.